Good morning. Today we are continuing our book club scope, talking about the 5 a.m. Miracle by Jeff Sanders. Today we're going to be talking about chapter 7, and this book is Dominating Your Day Before Breakfast. So welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne. I'm your alarm. Yay! And we are talking about the book, The 5 a.m. Miracle by Jeff Sanders. And this book has, I really enjoyed this book. I didn't know what I was going to think about it, but I am really enjoying this book. I'm glad that you're loving the book too. So yeah, Pacific Standard Time. It's pretty early there. Okay, so we're in chapter 7, and I just had 2 quotes that I wanted to read to you from chapter 7. I thought this was so good. He talks about the 4 types of morning routines, and he talks about having different routines for different days, because talking about how some days maybe you have to get up early and you have to get out the door, and some days are maybe a more relaxed day, like it's a weekend, and talking about how if we plan for the differences in our schedule, it will set us up for success. Yay, the book should be there today. Your alarm didn't go off this morning. Oh, that's a bummer. I had one day like that last week. So he talks about how you need more than one routine for each of the variances in your schedule. Work days, weekends, holidays, days with early morning appointments, days when you just want to be spontaneous, and all the other random craziness that shows up in life without notice. This is chapter 7. And so I thought that it was really good to think about, okay, we don't need to have like 15 different routines, but maybe having a normal routine and then an abbreviated routine. And that's kind of what I have done, where it's like, okay, so last week when my alarm didn't go off and I woke up an hour late, to say, okay, here's my abbreviated routine. Well, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm only going to do a shortened version of this, and I'm going to do this, and then I'll get back on track. Hi, Daniel. It's great to see you. And so thinking of how can we set ourselves up for success by planning ahead that days are going to be different, and not every single day is going to be the same. And I think that's where we can really get into trouble, where we'll set up this great routine, and then life happens. Do we have a way to see past scopes? Yes. If you go to catch.me/MoneySavingMom, so that's katch.me/MoneySavingMom, you can see all my past scopes. So thinking of what kinds of days do you typically have? Do you have a couple days a week where you have to get up really early and get out the door? Do you have maybe on the weekends that it's this kind of schedule? So think about what are the variances in your schedule, and then how can you set yourself up for success by planning ahead for those. For me, it's just good to have two routines. I don't feel like I need to have 5 different ones, because then I would get confused. But just having 2 routines so that I have a backup plan in case 1, I need to get out the door really early in the morning, or 2, I get up late. So thinking of that was really helpful to me, and I thought that was really realistic. It's realistic that life is not always going to be exactly the same. Weekends and weekdays, that's great. I love this quote too. He said, live in your reality. Create a schedule that makes sense to you and works with your current season of life and encourages you to make the most of your time. And so that's really what I loved with this book, is I felt like I honestly went into it kind of with a bad attitude, because I was thinking, okay, this guy, it's a guy, he doesn't have any kids. How is he going to know what it's like for what us moms experience? And I was surprised that he had some things in here that were really applicable. I mean, this whole thing of having these different schedules, I don't know that I've really read that in another book, and definitely not in a book that was written by a man who didn't have kids. So I thought that was really good to think about the variances in your schedule, and then set yourself up for success by planning for that, and also living in your reality and creating a schedule that makes sense to you. Don't try to be someone else. Don't look at me and think, she's getting up at 5 a.m., so I need to get up at 5 a.m. Don't do that. Do what works for you. And then be free from guilt if it's very different than what other people do. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. That's from the 5 a.m. Miracle book by Jeff Sanders. And I am, like I said, on my other scope, I'm skipping my Money Making Mom scope this afternoon, but I will be back tomorrow morning for more morning motivation. So have a great day.